Dumelang guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you are one of my subscribers, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, and please subscribe, comment, like. I want your feedback on my channel, and let's go on this journey together. So today was the first day of school, so I had to drop off the kids at school. And it's not going to be a very busy day today. I still have a lot of work this week, very busy this week. So just in terms of content for today, I do want us to just sit and have a little chat more about my kind of content and the type of content that I will be posting. Specifically regarding the content that I said I would do as a minimalist content creator. So just speaking a little bit more about that as well. And also just giving some tips on how it is that I do what I do as a minimalist content creator. And also just, I'll also be doing a little bit of my home decor content as well. So I'll show you guys a little bit of that. But anyway, let's get into it. What does it mean when I say I'm a minimalist content creator? So I think for me, I've seen a lot of content creators, great content creators, posting about, different types of niches that they're into, whether it's makeup, fashion, clothing. I've also seen a lot of people obviously posting about, just their everyday lives and what they're doing. So I decided that I'm just going to be me. I'm going to be very authentic and just be a minimalist because that's who I am in normal everyday life. So I'm not the type of content creator who's going to be posting about, clothing hauls and makeup hauls, mainly because I am not someone that likes to overspend or spend on things that I don't need or spend things on things that I don't necessarily want or use in my everyday life. I do buy clothes, I do buy makeup, but only when, my makeup is finished or I really need something. So I'm not someone that would consistently be buying makeup or consistently be buying clothes. And another thing I've learned is that, being a minimalist, I enjoy my financial literacy. I enjoy learning about finances and under consumption. And there's so much to learn about financial literacy. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but over the past year or two, I've learned a few things from other creators, especially on TikTok, about people who are, enjoying not overspending, the non-consumerism aspect of, content creation. And that's something that I resonated with. So I hope it's something that you guys are going to resonate with. And yeah, I hope you learn something. I hope it's something that is of interest to you and something that is of value to you. I hope it's something that, makes me your next favorite content creator. Okay, so let's get into it. So the first thing I think I want to speak about was just how I was always overspending, spending on things that I really didn't need. And that caused me to be in quite a bit of amount of debt. Just basically from not being able, to make it towards the end of the month. I know I'm not alone, and there's so many people out there that really struggle on a month-to-month basis to just meet their basic living expenses, being able to just buy groceries without being worried, to being able to going out with your friends without being worried. Obviously, in this economy, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. And I think that has a lot to do with overconsumption and people overspending on things that they cannot afford. Yes, the cost of living is super high. You know, a lot of people are not getting enough salaries and things like that. But I think we also need to see where we play a part in that, you know, the way we live and how we are able to maintain ourselves. So last year, just to talk a little bit about my journey, last year I was in a lot of debt. I felt like I was just living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, and it was really, really bothering me. So I decided to change my approach and change my spending. And the ways in which I did that was budgeting, tracking my spending, not spending or buying things just for the dopamine, you know, just for the thrill of or the satisfaction of just, you know, buying something online. And it was very hard, but my goal was to reduce my debt, get my debt down. And I really achieved that because I achieved that by reducing the amount on my credit card. I reduced it significantly. I love using my credit card. I think it's really, really valuable. Mostly because, you know, you get points and rewards as part of the credit card that I use. It's also really, really good in terms of your credit score. I feel like people, especially that want to build up their credit score, it's really good to have a credit card, but it needs to be used very responsibly. And I think a lot of the times credit cards are used when you are expecting a certain amount of money to come in, or you buy a purchase with money that you don't have, or that's basically non-existent. So yeah, that was one of the ways that I reduced my debt. The second way that I reduced my debt was by closing my clothing account. I have two clothing accounts, and I decided that going forward, I just want to buy clothes with cash. I do not want to use any store accounts. I know that is also helpful for someone that's trying to build their credit score, but I feel like the point I am in my life, I don't want to have any store accounts. As much as it is helpful, especially, you know, when you have kids and, you know, you need to buy clothes for summer, winter, it's really helpful. But I've decided to rather save up that money, knowing that I am going to have that expense at the end of the day. So I need to have that money saved up somewhere on hand if I want to buy any clothing. So yeah, guys, enough of that. So there are some financial goals that I want to achieve for this year. Firstly, I want to save. I know it sounds cliched, like, oh, you know, people save all the time. You save 50 Rand, you save 20 Rand. But I really, really want to prioritize my saving this year. And how I want to save is two ways. There's an emergency fund that I want to have, which is basically 3 to 6 months worth of your income. So that means, you know, the economy these days, it's not a sustainable economy. So you need to have at least 3 months worth of income sitting somewhere just waiting for an emergency. These days, people get retrenched, people lose their jobs, you know, the economy is very unstable. So I think for me, it's very, very important that I do have an emergency fund. I don't think it's going to happen overnight. I think with an emergency fund, especially with 3 to 6 months worth of income, it's going to take 2 years, 3 years. It's going to take a long time. But I think with some dedication and commitment, it is achievable. The other thing I want to do is have a sinking fund. So what's a sinking fund compared to an emergency fund? A sinking fund is more for expenses that come up, you know, regularly, like, you know, you need to fix your geyser, or you need to, you know, take your car for maintenance, or you need to save up for that holiday, and there's, activities and expenses that are going to come up on that holiday. um, or just like clothing as well. If you know you're going to buy winter clothing, then at least you can save up a bit of money for that purchase. So things like that, where I know that things are going to come up for the short term, and I just need to have that money on hand for when that event happens. Sinking funds can also be fun. It's not just about, emergencies or, expenses that are inevitable that you don't want to pay for. But sinking funds, you can save for traveling. You can save for, outings with your friends, the little holiday trips that you take, with your boyfriend. So that's the type of sinking funds that I want to have. And it can be different categories. You can allocate 5,000 rands for traveling, 5,000 towards buying clothes, that type of situation. So, by the end of the year, you have a good amount of money for your sinking funds. So, the second financial goal that I have for the year is investments. I have had an easy equity account for so many years. I wasn't investing like consistently into that fund. So for this year, I'm really, really dedicated to making sure that I invest on a monthly basis, and also investing for my kids as well, because I feel like we're always saying, oh, I wish I would have bought a house in grade one, or I wish I would have started investing when I was born, type of thing. So I feel like investing definitely needs for you to start early. I wish I would have started investing in my 20s when I started working, but that wasn't a priority. And unfortunately, investments take a very long time to see like results, to see like that money growing in your shares and in that investment account. Um, so it does take a long time. It does take, 10, 15, 20 years to see any type of return on investments like shares and ETFs. So that's why I've decided to prioritize that this year, because I do have that extra income from not having all of that debt that I used to have. I do have that flexibility now to actually make that contribution to my investment account. And it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You can always start small and start building up from that. But I think it just wants you to start. It's just a matter of just starting and getting into the habit of investing on a monthly basis. Okay. And the last financial goal that I have for this year is just to continue budgeting and tracking my spending. I feel like budgeting has been such a valuable tool for me to be financially stable. Every month, I make a budgeting plan, or I use my budgeting template, which is a simple, easy Excel spreadsheet that I use to put in all of my income and all of my expenses. And that really, really helps me to have a clear vision of how much I have in the bank, how much I have to spend for the month. It makes me make better financial decisions, knowing that, I don't have that extra 2,000 Rand to buy that dress. I don't have the extra 2,000 Rand to go to that restaurant. I don't have that extra 2,000 Rand, to go on a spontaneous trip. So that has really, really helped me manage my money, and to do all of the things that I'm able to do, like saving, investing. So yeah, if you are not using a budget template, I would highly, highly suggest that you start. I know it is daunting. It is, it's scary to look at your finances and to face reality. But I promise you, once you start doing it, once you start getting into the habit of doing it, it is really, really beneficial. You won't look back. And for me, even when I'm not in a great financial situation that month, it gives me comfort to know that at least I know my position, I know my situation, and I can make a plan. I can see what I can do about my financial situation that month. Maybe I buy less groceries. I decide, okay, this month I really need to buy the bare minimum. I just need to buy the basics because otherwise I won't make it to the end of the month. So things like that, tracking your spending also has really, really helped me to not buy unnecessary purchases. I know that I do not need to buy that coffee. I do not need to buy that takeaway this month. Yes, 100 Rand won't, won't do anything, won't break the bank. It's not going to be the end of your life. But those 100 Rands and those 30 Rands for coffees and buying lunch at work and buying takeaways on a Friday really do add up. And it's not to say that I don't buy takeaways or I don't buy coffee, because I do. But I know that I have set a limit for myself, and I have told myself there are certain days or there are certain weeks when I will not be buying those things. So that's just helped me to basically control my spending. And I think it's a really valuable skill to just control your spending, know what you're spending, and to be in control of your life and in control of your financial stability. And I know I am a lifestyle content creator at the end of the day. I do go to fancy restaurants. I do enjoy going to, fancy holiday trips. I do like splurging on those type of things. That is my vibe. That's what I enjoy doing. I do, spoil myself by doing those type of things. But I just also want people to know that, I am also financially conscious. So I do not just, spend for the thrill of it. I am very conscious of what it is I spend and how I spend my money. But at the end of the day, obviously, we are people and we do spend on things that we value. And for me, I value experiences. I value doing things that I wouldn't normally do on my day-to-day life. I value, going on trips and having those adventures and having to do, different activities. So for me, that's what makes my life worthwhile. And I will definitely be taking you on that journey with me, just experiencing life, romanticizing the everyday, and just enjoying life. But obviously, enjoying life, taking into consideration that you can do all of these things, but just being mindful about how you go about it. Right. That's it for me in terms of finances and financial talk and financial tips. I hope you found that to be valuable. And please, please let me know in the comments if there's anything you would like me to discuss that I've learned from my journey that you might want to know. Any tips that will be valuable to you, please, please let me know.